ridiculous.
So one of the things going to the book then is in the cardio section is you're very keen on talking about building up the aerobic base with fairly what we would call moderate effort cardio.
Yes. Yeah.
And so,
which is not an that is a very conventional approach by track coaches. Arthur Lydiard being one of them is for most of the year, you work at the mid to lower ends of the heart range. You're not gassed. You're not burning. You're building an aerobic base. You're building the foundation. You're building the capillarization in the muscles and in the heart. And then for short stretches prior to the competitive season, you do intervals. And the thinking is, and these are performance intervals.
Mm-hmm.
So the thinking is you're going to increase the amount of work you can generate from your aerobic system that doesn't generate as much waste products to recover from. And then when you start with the performance intervals, you've gotten so much more work from your aerobic system. Now you use your anaerobic system to ultimately perform better, run faster, swim faster, whatever. It's only for commercial purposes that people try to do aerobics year-round, interval training year-round, high-intensity interval training multiple times a week, 12 months a year.
Mm.
You certainly can try to do that, but you don't have to do that, right? Like I know people who go to boot camps to get in shape. And for about 6 weeks, they get in shape. And then everything hurts and they stop for 6 weeks or 2 months. But now they regress because they do nothing because they're hurt or they're exhausted or they can't keep up the intensity.
Mm.
Even cardio ergometers, right? You have maybe one manual program or one quick start program, and then you have multiple interval programs with no context for how to use them.
Here's a question then. If you're doing pretty high effort strength training as per Joint Friendly Fitness, and you're doing some cardio for your aerobic base, and you're not looking to achieve any performance goals specifically, is there any need in your mind to do intervals from a health perspective?
Is there a need? I don't think there's a need, especially if you're not looking for performance.
Mm.
Maybe you want to do it out of boredom or just to keep it fresh or, novelty, but I don't think there's a need. Again, the thing is, the context of the intervals trainings working so well is having an aerobic base, not just taking it out of context. So yes, if you do an aerobic base and then you do the intervals, you're going to say, wow, look how much more productive the intervals were. Yes, because you had the aerobic base. If you just try to do it all with intervals, it takes a toll. You run out of gas, you run out of gas, motivation, so. I mean, if somebody doesn't, then more power to them. Great. But you don't have to do it that way.
When a client comes to you to work out with you at optimal exercise, are they coming for strength training with a warm up and cool down and maybe some stretches, or do you add a cardio component to their workout there, or is that for them to do on their own time?
Under COVID, it's up. They can do that on their own.
Yeah.
Prior to COVID, I would let them come in early or stay late, and if they want to do extra time on the cardio devices, fine. But with COVID, no. Now it's just you come in, you warm up if you haven't already done it outside or at home, and then strength training and a couple of stretches, and then you can cool down for a few minutes, but. No, they can do cardio on their own. I'm not gonna.
And your top cardio choices in terms of equipment, certainly gym-based equipment, were in the book, Joint Friendly Fitness, were the recumbent bike and treadmill walking seem to come out tops.
Yeah, because those are the things that are easiest to manage, right? Once you get into, like, for instance. the conventional bike that you're hunched over on, the hunching over, I think, is potentially a problem. Now, it might just be adding to normal wear and tear, but that hunched over posture in any other discipline, hunched over is bad posture.
Yeah.
Yoga doesn't expect you to hunch over. I don't know, Alexander technique. So I wasn't inclined to include that one in here. And then with the treadmill, once the speed gets to a certain point and you have to run, that's when you hear the treadmill pounding. And the pounding, the whole point of the treadmill is to avoid the impact. But if you're going to be on a treadmill and pound on it, then it defeats the purpose. So